Hello and welcome back to another video. Back out on the boat today. We're already a couple miles offshore, just kind of fishing tip of Christchurch Ledge, where it's kind of a reefy area looking for bait fish, and I've got a slow jig down. And that's going to be the plan for most of the morning today. We've got a little bit of wind kind of coming at us, which is causing a little bit of rough conditions, but the forecast for today is to completely calm off this afternoon. It should be absolutely, if the weather forecast is right, glassy conditions. And we're going to head out to the offshore banks and do a bit of slow jigging, some heavy metals, looking for some big bass, maybe hit some wrecks, maybe try and find some pollock too, or anchoring up, or maybe drifting for some tope. But hopefully we've got some good conditions and some good fishing to follow, fingers crossed. It's like a wreck that's like split in half. There's one big long bit here, and then a few hundred metres over that side is the other half.
Yep.
So normally, when we've been here, we've fished both. Right, well, just been fishing a few, or kind of an inshore-ish, fairly shallow. We're in like 70 foot of water. Wrecks. Pick up some bait and see what's down here. We're into the mackerel, which is good. It's a nice fresh bait, which will come in handy when we start hitting those tope marks later. But yeah, ideal. Right, we've had a play on some of the more shallow kind of reefs and wrecks over this way. And now I'm going to head way over there, or that way even, to some more offshore, deeper marks, see what we can find. Right, well that is a morning on the lures done, and unfortunately not much to show for it, apart from a few mackerel on the feathers. We tried different wrecks, reefs, and there wasn't really much doing. So we're now at anchor. We've got the afternoon to fish, so a good period of time. We've got some good tide running through now as well. Tide's definitely picked up, and I'm putting some tope and ray rigs down. Same as before, same as we've seen in the last few videos. So I've got two rods, both are kind of like a wire trace. This one I'm chucking out with a whole squid. The other one will be a mackerel flapper, and fingers crossed we can get into some of the big fish. Now, to say the fishing was slow would be an understatement. In fact, it was non-existent. Despite trying a few different marks, both drifting and anchoring, the sharks and rays just weren't keen to play. After about 7 hours at sea and some sightseeing to pass the time, I started to contemplate heading back in early and accepting defeat. That was until one of my favourite sights to see appeared yet again on the horizon. A huge flock of diving birds, which could only mean one thing: the bass were on the feed. Just alive with fish at the moment. Feeding frenzy. And with that first bass on the boat, the floodgates opened. And boy, did they open. Oh, perseverance pays off. I'm not going to get a measure on him, he's probably legal actually, but I'd say give him what, maybe 50 centimetres? There we go, finally into the fish.
Oh my god, that's lovely. They're liking these.
Well, that's nearly all day spent fishing with nothing really to go for it. So to finally find the bass, find the birds working, definitely pleased with that.
Oops, cat! That dropped it. Oh, it's a big one.
better off just putting a net in the water rather than a hook. And you can see the bass literally chasing the little, there you go, look, see a tiny little fish, little bait fish. And that's what the bass are feeding on. There we go, another bass, absolutely ideal. We're fishing in about 10 foot of water here. Let's go back. So, 10 foot of water, so it goes from, if anyone's fished kind of like the bank, or sorry, the bridge, Needles area, they'll know what this kind of like area is like to fish. But when it gets like this, you have like kind of churned up water behind us that we're drifting back into, which you have to keep an eye on because it gets quite dangerous. But the fish, the bass, just absolutely feed here, and so do the birds. So we're just kind of drifting back and forth in and out of the rough stuff and lapping the fish. Great fishing. Fish on, guys. Double hook up. Yeah, they've all been not a bad size. I mean, this guy's probably on the limit of taking home. Obviously, keeping size is 42 centimetres. I'm not planning to keep any. We haven't kept any today. This has just been for sport, but there you go. Smallest one of the day. With the sun continuing to set and not a breath of wind blowing, it made for some perfect fishing conditions. More boats started to join the party, with other recreational anglers and charter boats chucking their lures in looking for a piece of the action. And who can blame them? I was looking on the fish. Always seems an impossible task to tear yourself away when the fishing's finally good and you're fishing or catching every cast pretty much. But it is a school night and we're gonna have to get back soon, so this is gonna be our last drift before heading back in. But we're still catching. I mean, this is definitely proof for me that when the fish are on the feed like this, colour doesn't really matter. They'll just take a lure. I mean, I've used a few different colours, lures, and they've all been catching. There we go. I lied, this is our now last drift. Oh, we've got time for probably 2 or 3 more casts. We've actually got a weather front coming right in as well on us. Look at that. Probably fish of the day. And with that, we quickly escaped the incoming weather front and steamed home. Thank you for joining me on what turned out to be a fantastic session on the lures. Sometimes it's a case of fishing for the fish that are there, not the one that you want. See you next time.